Number 24 on the SL overview asks you to rationalize the denominator and simplify. So what that means is we need to get that radical out of the denominator because it's not an acceptable way to write your final answer. So what we have to do is we're going to multiply both the numerator and the denominator by 4 plus the square root of 2. So 4 plus square root of 2 in the numerator and the denominator. The reason why you have to do that is because this whole fraction in purple really reduces to 1. So we're not changing the value, the overall value of the fraction, but we are going to change how it looks. So now what you have to do is distribute both in the numerator and the denominator. So 32 plus 8 radical 2, 4 radical 6, and then last square root of 12, all over, and do the same on the bottom. So in the denominator, 16 plus 4 radical 2 minus 4 radical 2, and then minus the square root of 4. Now a couple things should happen. One, these middle two terms in the denominator should cancel each other out. Those are the two that have the radicals on them that cannot be simplified. Second, this final radical here should be a perfect square, in which it is. So we can change that into a 2. We want to check and see if anything up top can be simplified or combined. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like we can combine any radicals. We have this 8 radical 2 and this 4 radical 6, but since they don't have the same radicand, they're pretty much stuck. However, radical 12 can be simplified. So if we do a factor tree for 12, this isn't going to be pretty, but splits into 4 and 3, and then 2 and 2. So you have a pair of 2s, you can circle one, cross one off. It won't let me cross it off, but pretend it's crossed off. So what that gives you up top is 32 plus 8 square root of 2 plus 4 square root of 6, and then 2 square root of 3, all over 16 minus 2, so in other words 14. Now it looks like you might be done, but you have to go back and check and see if you could reduce it any more. So we can't do anything else with the radicals. We've already determined we can't reduce those anymore. But if you look, 32, 8, 4, 2, and 14. So all of the either coefficients of the radicals or just all of those numbers can be divided by 2. So you need to go ahead and do that. And technically what's happening is you're technically factoring a 2 out of each term up top. Oops. So if you factor a 2 out of each term up top, you have 16 plus 4 square root of 2 plus 2 square root of 6 plus the square root of 3, all divided by 14. And then once that 2 is isolated out front, what happens is that can be reduced with the 14. So the 2 simplifies, and that 14 just becomes a 7. So your final answer is 16. Let's see here. Final answer is 16 plus 4 radical 2 plus 2 radical 6 plus 3, all divided by 7. That is the most simplified answer, or simplified version of that problem.
Made with Doodlecast Pro.